Welcome to the Gaming Coop, the best space to talk about free shit. Let's introduce today's players. Player 1 will likely never drive across the country again. It's Walsh.
Yay!
Player 2. According to all known laws of aviation, there is no way a bee should be able to fly. Its wings are too small to get its fat little body off the ground. The bee, of course, flies anyway, because bees don't care what humans think is impossible. Yellow, black, yellow, black, yellow, black, yellow, black. Oh, black and yellow. Let's shake it up a little. Barry, breakfast is ready.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. It's Gabe. All right, I'm just gonna. I'll keep going. Player 3 walks up behind player 3 and moans "wah" seductively into his ear. It's Anthony.
That's enough of that.
Player 4. Only the most extreme and noble can face such a game like this person has. It's Kelsey.
Thank you.
And finally, player 5. I have wished some shrimps would fly my way and break inside my house one day. I can hardly believe what I see. Shrimp covering the horizon incessantly. Alas, I forgot. I am at a loss without my dearest cocktail sauce. It's Chris.
Wow.
All right, I think we should start putting a cap on the character cap.
Okay, so the game's intro, I was specifically tasked to keep reading until someone was laughing or made any noise. And the sad thing is, at least through Discord, no one was making any noise. So I felt contractually obligated to keep going. And then once Gabe finally was like, okay, I was like, okay.
Perfect.
I was speechless. I was brought to tears.
Yeah.
I think we were all just trying to be respectful and also kind of wanted to see how it was going to play out.
It would have kept going. It would have kept going until someone broke through. Welcome, everyone. It is a new month of video game talk. It is this month's topic is free shit, free games. This could mean anything. Could be a game that you get for free on just online on your PC. Could be something that you get free in association with a console. Could be a free game that it has a shit ton of microtransactions to make up for the fact that the game is free. But however kind of broad term you want to look at and put a sign for free games, that's what this particular podcast is about. So we have brought our favorite free games to the table. And the first person to step forward and talk about their game is going to be none other than the man that we've missed so much. It is Walsh, talking about one of the greatest mobile games of all time, Subway Surfers.
The nice man across the street said, "Hey, do you want to play some Xbox for free in the back of my van?" And I said, "No way! I've already got an excellent free game myself." And that game was Subway Surfers.
There you go.
And ever since that day, I've been playing Subway Surfers. My longest streak in Subway Surfers, I'm trying to think back to high school, where each period was 40 minutes. And I went for 2 periods straight because I had a study hall that went straight into a lunch, or vice versa.
Mm.
And the study hall was in the cafeteria, so it was study hall into lunch, and I just same run the whole time. So that must have been about an hour and a half, about an hour and 20 minutes.
Wow. What is Subway Surfers for those who do not know?
Subway Surfers is a game in which you are a child running away from the patriarchy of the police because you were spray painting some trains with the logo Subway Surfers. Anyway, it's an endless runner kind of game, in which you have 3 lanes to move between. You jump, you duck, you use power-ups, and as far as I really know, Subway Surfers and Temple Run was really at the forefront of endless runners. And since then you have seen a lot of spin-offs, a lot of clones of it, and it kind of really started that endless runner idea, as far as I know.
Mm-hmm.
And just since then, there were a few years where, I went without. I used to go online and watch these videos. I remember Vsauce 3 had videos like, here's WhatsApp, and here's all like these fun, cool mobile game apps that are free, that are on the App Store. And I would make it my mission to try to download whatever apps I could that were free and play them. And I tried to just be this like mobile gaming person who like knew a bunch of games. But Subway Surfers was always this game that I kept coming back to, and was always just very addictive. And it's almost, there are definitely a lot of other games in high school that I spent way too much time on my phone playing, but Subway Surfers was up there. And I feel like it's so common. Who here has played Subway Surfers?
I
for
have.
a very short time.
I have, yeah. I played it. You recommended it to me, and I played it briefly. I think I've played it in the past, like even before you recommended it, like once or twice. But I never went very far with it. But I enjoyed my time with it.
I love
an
the
old lover.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yes.
No. I was just making a facetious joke. I apologize. Go ahead.
Nothing. I just also love the Subway Surfer memes that I have seen, in which someone is actually like running on top of trains from one train to another, or is running away from the police, and you just hear the Subway Surfers music in the background. Or
That's funny.
I think my favorite is the one where it's a screen recording where it's somebody playing Subway Surfers, but they keep getting text messages that's like I'm breaking up with you, here's the reason, a whole like long paragraph, and then they like scroll real quick, they say K, and then they go back to the game as quickly as possible.
I've seen one where it's essentially that, but there's also like the old iPhone, like your battery's running out, like 30%, 20%, 10%, all within like the span of 10 seconds.
Yeah, it's and I think for me, and I think for a lot of people too, it's very nostalgic. I mean, you see those jokes of like, you go back and we had on our iPod touches, Subway Surfers, Doodle Jump, and the YouTube app looked like an old TV.
Yes. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And just that was that nostalgia mixed with this just ease of being able to just pick it up and just play. And I think one thing that I also really enjoyed too is after a period of time where I then went back to the game, what had happened to a lot of other games that were very classic kind of games, they became these free-to-play, just shitty mobile games where you have to constantly deal with ads, or you are constantly doing that. And while it has picked up on that a little bit, it's not as abhorrent as a lot of other apps have made it. So I am surprised by that. Now, who here knew that there was a Subway Surfers the animated series?
I was gonna comment on that because I saw it at the very bottom of the Wikipedia article, and I was just like, they really are they're gonna do that with every video game now, huh?
Subway Surfers, this is directly from the Subway Surf fandom wiki. Subway Surfers the animated series is an animated series based on the game Subway Surfers. Thank you. It ran starting from June 1st, 2018 on SYBO's YouTube channel, SYBO TV, and that is the people who made Subway Surfers. So each episode is about 3 to 6 minutes, and there are 11 episodes. I have not watched this. I almost want to watch it and see what it's like. I think I maybe saw like a quick clip from it, but I felt like the animation was like surprisingly pretty smooth.
So it was just like an online series then. It was not like picked up by like a Cartoon Network or anything like that.
No. But it was basically a bunch of normal kids who like to skate and sometimes get chased by the police, are living a normal life until they like accidentally interact with a nearby like UFO that's crashed. Yeah. It's definitely puppeted animation.
Okay.
But it's surprisingly looks like better than I would have thought it would be. And it seems like it actually has like a plot instead of just being like a Coco Melon style kind of just grab at children's attention.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's like it is a interesting like way to go about it, like such a game that doesn't really have like a whole lot of plot to it, just to be like, hey, let's turn this into like a full-fledged thing. I guess they have like the creative leeway to then just turn it into whatever they want it to be though, so I guess good for them. Right now I am blanking hardcore at something and I am infuriated with myself because I was thinking about this game a few days ago when thinking about Subway Surfers, and I want to know if other people might be able to kind of help me out here. It was also an endless runner, but it was an endless runner in the fact that you were in a roller coaster and the roller coaster would endlessly go and you had to basically like time your jumps and like angles of the roller coaster as it was going along to make sure it doesn't crash in order to make it to the end. And I am looking up like roller coaster game and coaster game or anything like that on my phone right now, and I cannot for the life of me find. It was like a series of them. It was like they had like the main coaster game, and it was like fucking Halloween themed and like Dino Park themed and shit like that. Does anyone have a single clue what I'm talking about?
Was it called Coaster Rush?
Coaster Rush. Let's see. Let me look it up on because maybe the apps are no longer there. So let me just double check over here. Yes, 3D Roller Coaster Rush. Yes, this is it. Yeah, they have the Jurassic 3D Roller Coaster Rush. Yes. So this was actually when I said there was the game the game that I played like a few years back as well. I think I might be thinking of this game too. I played it so much and it was just so it was so absurd the gameplay, but it was a lot of fun. It reminded me of like the endless runner type thing where it's just kind of it's mindless, it's doing most of the motion for you, but you just have to kind of make sure like, all right, make sure you get to the end type gameplay. And I want to go experience this game again because it was a lot of fun. But oh god, I just realized that you posted a GIF in our chat that has Elsa doing an endless running thing going on here. Is that...
Yeah, she's chasing Jake from Subway Surfers.
My god. Jesus.
Did she just attack him?
Yeah, she fired ice at him.
It looks like a spider web. Like she's a fucking part Spider-Man.
Don't talk about Elsa and Spider-Man.
Oh, is that a thing?
We don't...
Let's not go into this right now.
Oh no! Oh god! I did not mean to touch on this. I had no idea there was an association.
Whatever the mid-seg was going to be, I now want it to be story time from Gabe.
I mean, I know the story.
Just look up Elsa Gate.
Okay, I don't.
I didn't know that was the name of it.
Like right
Oh no.
Elsa Gate.
Okay.
We're unlocking shit that. You know what Subway Surfers also has reminded me of now that I've kind of dipped my toe a bit into is Jet Set Radio. It feels like not the gameplay necessarily, but like the idea of the like the cops chasing people around for graffitiing shit. Like
yes,
as like a core gameplay. Like it's very interesting on that front.
I've got to say, too, this cop and this dog that chase you, they need a raise. Like, you get like spring shoes, you get a jetpack, and you go flying miles. And then I trip on one little fucking bush, and then he's right on my ass again.
Yeah.
I have something, and
Sure.
it's slightly deviating from. Unfortunately, it is not anything fun to comment on with Subway Surfers. Subway Surfers looked like it was wonderful, but just scratching that itch of when you were talking about games that we remember from this time, the time when the YouTube app was an old TV. Does anybody remember Godfinger?
Yes.
Because I
think
really
so.
loved Godfinger, and then it was around for like 3 years, and then they cut off all support for it and removed it from the App Store, and I don't remember why that happened, because I thought it was fun, and I enjoyed it, but
What
anyway.
was Godfinger again? Like, what was the gameplay like?
It was like you had this little world in the app, and you like started from the dawn of time, and you developed the world over time, and you were quite literally like the finger of God, so you could like cast fire down or cause rain or put people wherever you needed them in order to build empires. But it was like the spinning like almost like the world was cut in half, and you were viewing it from the side, and you just would turn the world while you kept building things on it.
Huh. Interesting. I've
Just
never,
asking.
I
Okay.
don't think I've ever heard of that or played that before. But interesting. Cool. Does anyone else have anything to say about Jesus Christ? Okay, we're getting Elsa Gate photos, and I'm not looking into that. All right. Anyone else have anything to say about Subway Surfers?
What is this?
just all right. We're gonna move on, Gabe. You and I, when we were recording this, because most likely this is going up March 31st, knowing how my timeline goes with this show. But when you and I, when we were all recording this, we're a week out from Kirby and the Forgotten Land. We're both looking very much forward to it. However, you have come to the table with a different Kirby game, a free Kirby game known as Super Kirby Clash. Tell us about that.
Super Kirby Clash. I'm just going to read this directly from the wiki.
Sure.
It came out, let me see.
Listen, we present the games, but like you could just read from a script for the whole time. Like, it's all good. We're chill here.
Super Kirby Clash came out September 4th, 2019. It is an action RPG Kirby game. I wouldn't really call it that. It's more so like a boss rush type of game where every single level you do, you're fighting a boss, various bosses from the Kirby franchise. And to start with, the game is free. However, like you said earlier, Chris, it is riddled with microtransactions.
Yeah.
So I did what I had to do, and I basically purchased the whole game, paying $40 as if I had played the whole game, and I decided to go through the game again. It is necessary if you want to play the game at a decent pace.
Really? So this is one of the examples of just like free to play that's not really free to play because it's gonna keep basically everything, all the content from you, basically.
Pretty much.
That sucks.
The currency of the game is gem apples, and you can purchase gem apples off of the eShop. Gem apples are used to purchase gear, are used to purchase items, are used to purchase experience boosts, stuff like that. And every 12 hours, there's like a tree in the middle of your home base, and it produces gem apples every 12 hours. The amount of gem apples you start with is pittance. It's like 10 gem apples, and to get like even the lowest gear item, you have to pay like 50 gem apples or whatever. And there is a way to go around this, where as you progress through the game, you do different achievements depending on how fast you cleared the boss, and what kind of weapon or gear that you needed to defeat it with. See if you have like all of one specific class. Like, it's just, there are ways to get more gem apples. It's just, it's extremely slow. Because another thing that happens is vigor, which is like a stat where as you level up it increases. However, when you start with it, it's what allows you to play a level. And you say there's like 10 vigor, and the first level takes up 4. You now have 6, and you have to wait like a certain amount of time until you get back to 10 in order to do a higher level. And it stays like that until you level up. But it only increases by like 1 or 2 or 3 every single level up that you get. So it's extremely slow, because you have to wait a very long time between each level that you do. So it's another reason why it's pretty much required to purchase the game fully in order to get a decent amount done within a decent amount of time. So those are the main gripes that I have with the game. Otherwise, I'll talk about everything else. Pay to win aside, the game is very fun. The story is non-existent basically, but it's just a boss rush, and there are 4 different classes you're able to play as. There is Dr. Healmore, which is my preferred class type. It's a healer, and pretty good damage dealer, all things considered, but it's primarily a healer class. There's the Sword Knight, where you play as Kirby with a sword, and you also have a shield that has an area of effect that gives you invincibility. However, it depletes pretty quickly, so you have to balance out how and when you use it. There is the Hammer Lord, which is the most powerful class. However, in exchange for that, they are extremely slow. And they wield a hammer, and they can swing it around and do different moves and stuff. And then there's the Beam Mage, where they have like a beam staff, and they can shoot beams and all that stuff. And they also have a charge attack, which allows you to stop time. And refry those beans. Did I say it? Did I sound like
No.
beam?
No, I'm just playing with you.
Beam, like laser beam.
Yes, yeah. No, you said it right the first time. Anthony's just being silly.
I thought I messed up.
No, you're
excuse
good.
Me.
You're good.
Beam Mage, charge attack that lets you stop time. Another thing about this game, every single level is timed. You have about 2 minutes and 30 seconds to complete the level. And if you do under that time, you are eligible to get an achievement, depending on how quickly you defeat it. However, if you run out of time, you need to spend gem apples to reload your time by 30 seconds. So be quick. Otherwise, you'll be paying a lot of gem apples. So...
Now, out of curiosity, do they take from a lot of like the older Kirby bosses, or is it mostly like just new for this game?
They take it from like around the whole series.
Okay.
The main antagonist of the game is the parallel version of the final boss of Kirby's Adventure. Parallel Nightmare, the guy with the cape, and
okay.
And so they took that as like a callback to Kirby's Adventure. There's even callbacks to like Planet Robobot, Kirby Triple Deluxe, other games like that, Return to Dreamland. All sorts of good references and callbacks to the series' history. I probably should have mentioned this is technically a sequel game. The first game of the series was on the 3DS, just called Team Kirby Clash Deluxe. I was originally going to talk about that game. However, I lost all my save data.
Oh, so no.
I didn't want to have to pay another $40. So I just wanted Kirby. I just wanted Super Kirby Clash.
Right.
But there are also callbacks to bosses in that game too, and there's also like a bunch of lore implications. Of course, there isn't any Kirby game, but still, it's generally a pretty fun game. It even has online play. So if you have any friends that you wanna they want to help grind out some stuff, or just want to take on a boss together, you're able to do that. So it's actually pretty decent online. So nice. It's very, very fun. It's very fun to play with people and friends and the such.
You know, it's funny. I'm looking at this is slightly off subject from Super Kirby Clash, but I'm looking at Nightmare right now. I swear, I feel like he is the final enemy in Kirby and the Amazing Mirror as well, but it's not amongst the games that are listed here, because it is a lot of. I feel like a lot of these enemies end up being like guys, evil, devilish, crazy looking guys with starry capes that shoot stars, and I feel like that's also Amazing Mirror, or at least I don't know other games I feel like I've played before, and for Kirby, so I don't know how much Nightmare actually ends up showing up, but besides that, this is definitely like it seems like it's a fun time. I don't like, is it? It feels like it's not one that you necessarily like sink like a ton of hours into. It's more of like a hey, let's go in, like fight a few bosses, and then we'll hop out and like play something else. It seems like it's a kind of like a one-off thing. But I don't know. It sounds like something I would enjoy every once in a while without having to shell out a ton of money for it.
Yeah, if you ever feel like playing it, just tell me and I'll play with you.
Yeah.
So you don't have to pay the money for it.
So actually, yeah. So if you have everything and I played with you, then I have access to everything.
Not really. It's just more so you won't have to spend your time grinding by yourself, which is what takes most of the time.
I see. Okay.
Having someone with a higher level than you allows you to get through things much quicker and allows you to level up and gain more gem apples and stuff like that much quicker because you're playing with someone more powerful than you, and you can gather a lot of materials and items required much more easily.
Are you saying...
Because some of these bosses are really difficult.
Oh, sorry.
So I continue.
Are you saying gem apples as in gemstones or jam apples as in strawberry?
Gem apples as in gemstones.
Okay.
Yeah, they're like crystalline apples.
I was excited if they were jam apples.
Yeah, like apple jam.
Gem apples also sound exciting, but...
they're jam apples as in they play music.
Ah.
They're jamming apples.
Or you can jam them in your butt.
Whoa.
Hey!
Whoa.
Hey!
Kelsey!
Hey!
This is a family-friendly
Jam 'em in
fucking
your butt.
podcast.
Hey!
This is a fucking family-friendly
Oh,
fucking
Aglio! Olio!
This is a podcast where I fuck my family.
Oh.
Jesus Christ.
Jam your family!
That's enough of that.
Okay.
Where's Elsa?
All right.
Say, Chris. No, stop with the Elsa gate.
Hey man, you brought it up. It's your fault.
I know
Anything
I did.
here from
By
here on
the
out
way,
is all your
Fucking
fault.
Consequences.
By the way, I'm sure everyone was waiting with bated breath. The name of the final boss in Kirby and the Amazing Mirror is Dark Mind, not Nightmare. Okay.
Chris,
say again.
that the final boss in Amazing Mirror is referenced in one of the final bosses in the game. It's called King D Mind, where it's DDD as Dark Mind.
That's true. He does have like the belly. They have matching bellies in that sense. Although, I should say that because Dark Mind's belly is a fucking eyeball. Good grade.
King D Mind is also an eyeball.
Oh no.
I'll get a picture.
God,
Gabe,
what nightmare fuel is Forgotten Land gonna have for its boss? Like, I have to know. Like, it's alarming. What were you gonna say, Kelsey?
I was gonna ask if any of the big bads. I was gonna ask if Gabe's opinion, if any of the big bads could jam his apple.
Oh my god, like King D Mind.
Yeah, okay. Just checking. That's like my gauge. I asked Gabe.
Your game.
I mean, just
My
DDD in
gauge.
general, I guess.
King.
King D-Mind.
He'll provide. He'll provide. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. He could jam the whole fucking orchard.
Jesus.
He looks like he's staying at like the Holiday Inn, and he's called the front desk for towels like 3 fucking times. Because it looks like he's in one of those like resort hotel type robes.
Oh, I see the robe. Yeah.
He's
Okay.
like, "Where's my towels?"
I have asked
I
you.
need them to complete my occult ritual.
I have asked you thrice for fresh towels.
Thrice.
It's a Schitt's Creek reference. Ooh, what's this? Is that the apple? Oh, that's the eyeball.
That is what is inside King D mind. The eyeball.
It looks like a cervix.
Oh.
Oh my.
Wow.
I'm not wrong.
So, what
It's a
game's
sideways
next?
eyeball. That's what it's intended to be.
Cool.
Yeah.
Technically, the cervix is the eye to life.
I mean, I guess. You're not wrong.
That's what it says under one of those Spider-Man and Elsa videos.
God damn it! Fucking Christ!
Okay.
All right.
If the eye's the window to
Weird.
the soul, the cervix is the back door.
Yep.
Oh my god.
Hey.
We are just derailing at the moment. All right.
So that's Super Kirby Clash.
Yeah, that's Super Kirby Class. Again, like I said, I'm sure by the time we upload this, we're gonna be deep into that game, and we'll probably already know what Nightmare Fuel the end of that game's gonna be. But I am very excited.
I want on
for
record that I want the single audio clip of Christopher saying the game name really fast just now, because it did not actually sound like the game name at all.
Kirby and the Forgotten Land.
No, the Super Clash, whatever game.
Super Kirby Clash.
Yeah,
Super
okay.
Kirby Clash.
Yeah. But you said it really fast. It sounded like you were just like super. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now listen, I have you all in Discord order here. All right.
Discord,
We're gonna do a little-
if you will.
Yes, thank you. And we're gonna do a little. I figured, you know what's free and fun? Mad Libs.
Yep.
Hell yeah. So, Chris, we're gonna start with you. And I just shared with you guys the list of everything. So, you know what? Actually, I'm gonna, because as I actually have, and you'll see that there is a space between them. That is because that I have two just very short Mad Libs. So I have one, and then I have a second one. So I'm going to say, for example, the first thing I need is an adjective, and then Chris, you're going to tell me that adjective. And then the second thing I need is an Italian person's name. And then Kelsey, you're going to give me that, and so on and so forth.
Person's name, though. That's really funny.
So do I. So get in line.
All right, Chris, adjective.
Obtuse.
All right.
Alfredo.
Italian person's name, Alfredo. Occupation?
Subway sandwich customer experience specialist.
Subway sandwich. Hold on. Subway sandwich.
Customer experience specialist.
Me trying to write my resume. Also, Gabe's probably like, my name was funnier.
It was. But now you're never gonna know.
Oh, okay.
All right, Gabe. Verb ending in ing.
Jamming.
That's the one I was gonna say. If
All right,
I had
Chris,
that one.
plant, plural.
Plant plural.
Just more than
sage.
one plant, bud. Buddy,
Sage is-
buddy. That's not. You could have said sunflowers. Like, you could have said anything that was a plural.
I want to be unique and different. We'll do pecunias.
Christopher, it's petunias. Pecunias sounds like a. It sounds like a slur or like an Italian
Pecunias
fish
patata.
dish.
The Latin word for money.
I want, like I said, I'm just doing something different. So it's petunias. There
Wow.
you go.
Pecunias.
Pecunias.
All right, Kelsey, I need
Okay.
an adjective.
Wait. Oh, because Christopher just went, but I'm like spacing out that he even did. What is it? Adjective?
Yeah.
Slimy.
All right, noun, plural.
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Noun.
Apple.
And Chris, name of person in room.
Chris, because he's in his room by himself.
No, you know what? By room, I mean in this Discord.
I know. It's okay.
Sure. Rainbow capybara.
Rainbow Bacunia.
Bacunia. I don't know why I thought it was a C. I don't know why. Or Q.
Right.
Actually, you know what? It was in my mind. It was with a fucking Q. I don't know why.
Also,
just
it
felt
starts
like-
with a P.
I said Bacunia.
No.
So it was like Pequuina.
Oh, well.
When we come back from break, we will be coming back to Kelsey. However, here is your first Mad Lib. Obtuse Alfredo Brothers is a popular video game where you control a Subway sandwich customer experience specialist as he/she runs through levels, jamming on enemies and eating bacunias to get slimy and fire flowers so that he/she can throw Spider-Man at enemies. He does all this to save the apple from the evil rainbow capybara.
Oh my.
What a trip.
Wow. And are we
Alright.
Wait, so do you want me to go to ad break and then come back for the rest of this? Like
No, you do
for
the
any
ad break
purposes? Okay, alright.
Alright.
We'll keep going.
All right, Kelsey, girl's name.
Kelsey.
Perfect.
Oh boy.
Noun.
Oh, me?
Yep.
Pecunias.
Bacunia. Got it. Boy's name.
Giuseppe.
Was that the Italian name?
Yes.
How is Giuseppe more funny than Alfredo?
The spelling is funny.
Well,
Named
well,
Giuseppe.
I butchered the spelling.
How did you
Alright.
spell it?
Just Giuseppe.
Giuseppe?
All right. Noun.
Finger.
I said noun, not verb, but okay. And then Kelsey, I need a verb
Whoa.
ending in S.
Fingers.
Stop!
All right. And then I need a noun.
Let's go with hands.
Hand. One hand.
One hand. And then Gabe, noun, plural.
Don't make me fucking say hands.
Please don't.
Feet.
I was about to watch the fucking Bacunias again. But
Also, Walsh just sounded like he made the tiniest down with the sickness noise. It was very quiet. It was like, ah, ah, ah.
Subway baked cookie.
Subway baked cookie.
Aw.
That's cute.
All right. Animal, plural.
Raccoons.
Animal, plural. Different one.
Seagulls. We're going with the trash animals.
Verb.
Trash babies.
Violently submerges.
Wow. Actually, if you just say submerges violently, you're kind of getting like a verb adjective thing going on, or an adverb.
You're just a few feet away from me.
I'm not. No, I was genuinely like saying, "Oh, funny that you'd say it that way."
I'll be right back.
I didn't do anything.
Okay. Gabe, I need an adjective.
Chrome.
Chrome.
Yeah.
All right. And then Chris, a noun.
Oh God. Bowling pin.
And then a verb.
Kelsey.
I know. I'm just thinking.
Oh.
Vomiting.
Jeez.
Adjective.
Slippery.
Oh.
Sorry.
Oh
All right. In Kelsey Bacunia of Time, you play as Giuseppe, a young boy who has no finger. In this adventure, he fingers with his trusty hand and many other sandwich-baked cookies from his inventory. He travels through time, working with raccoons and seagulls to violently submerge the chrome bowling pin and vomit Kelsey the slippery princess.
What?
Wow.
Why?
We really made something special today.
This is
Yeah. Yeah.
wow.
Well, I hope folks, you guys think about Kelsey the Slippery Princess as we hear a word from these sponsors. It has been 2 years since we started Team Chaos Productions, and we would not be where we are today without the help of Anchor. You've heard us talk about it all the time, but let me remind you, this completely free platform gives creators the tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast from your computer or phone. Once done, Anchor will distribute your podcast to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more so you don't have to. You can also make some money on the episodes with no minimum listenership. It's everything you'd ever want in a podcasting platform, so download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Happy podcasting.
What makes Table Party different from other tabletop podcasts?
The music.
The setting.
The characters.
The gore.
A bunch of different games.
The refreshing coldness of ice cream.
The 300-foot-tall squid named Delilah.
The dice rolls.
The horrifying body horror.
The aroma.
The suffering of my players.
Dairy Queen blizzards.
The luxurious plush texture.
The free coupons.
Bad decisions.
And who can we expect?
I'm Kelsey.
I'm Matt.
I'm Gabe.
I'm Walsh.
I'm Chris.
Welcome to the Table Party.
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 Welcome to the Table Party. Okay, well,
And we're back.
oh.
Did you want to lead back into the back end? Do you want to do a tick two on that?
Well, I was gonna just say. Never mind.
Okay,
What
all
were
right.
you gonna say?
I'm gonna choke.
At the top of my webpage is an ad with a gay flag that says gay, and then it says quiz test. Am I gay? With a little open button next to it.
You know what? I would really be curious of what the poll is. Because I imagine there's a part of me that feels like there would be some non-serious questions or questions that would have nothing to do with whether someone is gay. I can totally sense that. All right. Anyways, Anthony, we moved the mid-seg in front by accident. That was completely on me. Because I had it written down differently on my notepad that I did set the schedule I sent to you guys. But it is finally time for you to tell us what the fuck is Farm RPG.
So, Farm RPG is a browser-based game. They also have phone apps. And it's basically like a bunch of menus. Like, you interact with your farm through different menus and stuff. And it's just a game that you check in on every once in a while. And it's free. The paid experience isn't really that bad. Like, they don't wall things off from you. Things just kind of get, like, easier and more efficient. But you can also get, like, the premium currency over time, which is really important to me. And it's ad-free. But it's like you have this farm, and your farm has like all these different little buildings on it that do different things. And you have a town that has these different like buildings in it that also do different things. And you have these townsfolk who give you quests, and there are storylines that you experience along the way. But the game has like this really kind of sense of weirdness to it that I appreciate and resonate with. Like, one of the introductory quests to the game, somebody's like, hey, I'm going to a dinner party later tonight. I don't know what to bring. Can you make me, like, iron cups to bring? And you're like, yeah, sure. And you make them 10 iron cups, and they, like, go on their way. And then somebody else comes to you, and they're like, I forgot to bring something to the dinner party. Can you make me iron cups? And every single townsperson in the game asks you for iron cups. And then when you finally get to the party, the host is like, can you just bring, like, carrots or something? Because everybody brought iron cups. And I don't know what I'm going to do with all of them. And at the end of the quest, they give you back all of the iron cups that you made throughout the whole thing. And you're like, what am I supposed to do with all of these? And it's really silly. It has that kind of, like, silly sense to it where the NPCs don't take themselves too seriously and they themselves are kind of weird. So to give you, like, the typical, like, bird's eye, like, everyday view of what happens in the game. So I wake up, and the first thing I do is I go to my farm, and there are, like, different vegetables that you plant, and they take different amounts of time to grow. So, like, peppers grow in, like, 10 seconds, right? But they're, like, a very cheap crop. But beets take, like, 3 days to grow, but they're worth, like, millions of dollars each.
Holy
But
shit.
if you sprinkle grape juice on them, they instantly grow. But you're only allowed to do that a few times every day. So I sprinkle my beets with grape juice, and then I plant something else that's not as important. And then I go to my raptor pen, and I pet my raptors, because they bring me antlers. They bring me thousands of antlers every day, which I need to make fishing nets. So...
What kind of fucking fishing nets? Do you make out of antlers? Fucking fishing weapons?
Yes, you've killed all the reindeer for me to get a salmon.
Yeah, exactly. And so I'm pretty much done there. And then in the workshop, you know, I make apple cider, orange juice, and lemonade, and I make hundreds of those every day, because they're very important. And I make fishing nets, of course, as I told you already. And then I make large fishing nets, because you combine 25 fishing nets into a larger fishing net. That means that you have to tap less to use it. So that's really, really good to have. And then I go into town, and I check on the steak market. Because the raptors also bring me kebabs. And you want to sell the kebabs because the kebabs fluctuate in price every hour. And so you can get a pretty good deal on them. And then, of course, there's steak as well. Steak price fluctuates once a day. Right as of today, the steak market is wild, which means that the market price is very low. And tomorrow I might be able to sell it for a higher profit. The total steak value in my inventory is 73 million, so that's pretty good.
Yeah, wow. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and one of my favorite parts of the town is the pet shop. So you buy these pets, right? And the pets are tied, like, for example, the penguin pet. Like, you gotta have, like, level 60 farming and level 60 crafting, I think it is. But you recruit these pets, and every hour, they bring you an item. And when they go to level 2, they bring you 2 items every hour. And then at level 3 and level 6, they unlock more items that they can bring you. But to me, it's not clear where these animals are finding these things. Because, like, the dog brings you, like, fish bones and antlers, which it's like, fine, that kind of makes sense. But my snake brings me wine. Right? And my baboon brings me grape juice and shields. And I have pet dragons who bring me magical runes. And then I have a pet bear, and he brings me lava orbs. And my favorite is the capybara. The capybara is the most useful pet in the game because it brings you all these, like, hard to get crops and these grab bags that have all these really useful items in it. But you can name your pets. So I named my pets something thief, because to me it's really unclear where they're getting all of these items from. But I know that it's probably not legitimate, so they're thieves. They're all thieves. And Capybara is named Best Thief because it's the best one. So, moving on down, you can explore. And you like go into the forest and you like kind of explore around a little bit, and you'll get like, it'll be like, oh, you found a mushroom, or oh, you found a piece of straw. It's like, that's cool and all. But remember where I said that you can have orange juice? Orange juice gives you the energy to keep exploring. So like, yeah, you drink a ton of orange juice and you just wander around the forest for a few hours and you find a lot of good stuff. But if you have lemonade, you just instantly find like 16 things without using any stamina. So you're just standing in place, you drink lemonade. It's like, oh my god, look at what I just found. Right? That's great. But apple cider is better. Because apple cider uses 1200 stamina instantaneously. So you drink the apple cider, you feel tired, and you just have a pile of shit that you just found in the forest. And it's like, I found 80 mushrooms, 100 twigs, and I found this piece of amber.
So can I ask a question?
Yeah, of course.
Is the apple cider like a stool softener?
I don't know what happens to it, but my character drinks like 50 of them a day.
Right, but then like you said that you found like a bunch of mushrooms and sticks, like maybe it's a colon cleanse.
Why?
Well,
and like the
that's
amber was just in there.
That's just in one zone.
Okay. But you and you feel instantly tired.
Yeah.
So like a colon cleanse, it's tiring.
It could be a colon cleanse, but
okay, just throwing it out there.
Then like, how did those things get there? You know,
you ate them.
Okay, all right. I just want to stop this conversation real quick because I have a lot of questions. But first and foremost, how does the gameplay, like the text gameplay, work? I'm very curious about that. Is it just like you're clicking around to different places and then you're just typing things into a box? Is there any sort of like imagery, or is this all something that you kind of just imagine in like your head as almost like a D&D type thing? Like what, how does the interface work?
So the interface is a series of menus, and it's graphical too. Like they have little images for everything that you're doing. And it's like, so for example, I just shared a few screenshots. Like here I explored Whispering Creek, and it's like, as soon as you click the apple cider button, it's like, you explored 1,000 times.
Fucking diarrhea. Just
you found all this crap instantly. Yeah. It's great. But yeah, that's how you do it. It's not really text-based.
Okay.
Because you don't have to type, you're just clicking or tapping around. And yeah, you're the goal of this game is to level up your different skills. Because as you level up your skills, you get access to new things that you can craft, new crops that you can plant, new zones to explore or fish at. And a big thing is the quests that become available to you kind of like branch out. Like I've done over 700 quests in this game, and it's just because, you know, they're like seasonal ones where it's like there was a haunted house for Halloween, which was really fun. They had Santa's workshop, and it had all these little things that you could do, fully written out quests with different things from the villagers and different reasons why they need what they need. It's really, really wholesome. And it's kind of like this tight-knit community game where, like, the lead developer will come on to chat after he just launches a patch. And people are like, oh my god, this game is awesome. And, like, a ton of people ask him for shit, too. So he doesn't stay very long. But overall, it's just very wholesome. And it's very relaxing to just play a little bit of every now and then. It kind of, like, requires minimal investment. But it's rewarding for long-term investment, if that makes sense.
How did you discover this?
So literally, I was like, I am so bored. I have nothing to play on my iPhone because I like mobile games, but I'm very selective with them because I hate pay-to-win games. So this game got recommended, and I always check the IAPs first, because those are normally a red flag. And I saw that this one did have a premium currency, but it also had a 4.8 star review average. So it's like, alright, I'll check it out. And it ended up being pretty good.
Oh my god.
The image I just shared was on the Farm RPG Twitter account, and it was tweeted. Actually, it was tweeted yesterday, but I think yesterday was St. Patrick's Day, and it was it was an icon of a player that it was a very, very happy leprechaun. Let's just say that.
Fucking Jeff the Killer looking ass.
Yeah.
So you have met Buddy. Buddy is
Oh my god.
It
one of
looks
the
like
recurring memes.
It looks like a thumb.
So I think that Buddy is actually an upside down face.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You can see like his head is actually like a chin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But,
Wow.
But we're just gonna like accept that that's what Buddy. Like I have questions. Like we're not like oh yeah, here you've met Buddy. Buddy's an upside down face. We're all just like, oh, okay.
Does
Buddy's
he have?
very wholesome. He
Does
just
he-
wants to like play pirates.
I wouldn't
he
go anywhere
have-
near Buddy.
Does Buddy have like other body parts, or is it just what we see in the profile?
So, I would assume that he's like, like a normal person. Like you do have quest interactions with him, but you really don't see more than like that kind of portrait. Oh yeah, there you go.
Oh my god.
No, I don't want to go. I don't want this.
Well, this is fascinating. So I was thinking, because it does advertise itself. It says it's a text RPG or MMORPG, which I think is interesting. But that's why I thought that's why I was thinking it was kind of like a back and forth, just texting RPG type thing. It does look like there is imagery to it though. And that it is just like, it's just kind of like exploring the app. It's not like you're actually like walking around as a character in a world necessarily, like in a video game-esque way, but it's more so bouncing between screens. But you are exploring a world theoretically, right? That's
Yes.
basically what it is. Yeah.
It's not like text-based adventure makes me think of like, all right, type walk north, and then like you wait to see what it is, and then you type.
I see, yeah.
And then the computer's like, sorry, I don't understand that. And you try to find out the specific formatting for like 10 minutes. It's not like that at all. Like you're not typing out what you want to do. When they say text-based, they mean like the game's primary way of conveying information is through text.
I see. Okay.
Is there anything else that you didn't get to mention that is like your favorite, like some of your favorite little quirks of it?
Yes. So you build up fishing streaks at each of the little fishing areas, and if you miss your streak, it resets. But if you drink iced tea, your streak goes right back up to where it was. Yep, the pet rock. I have one of those.
Sorry, I've been sharing links from the Farm RPG Twitter.
Yeah. I love the imagery of this game, for sure. Like, it's very silly. I like that. I liked the first quest that you're referring to. Very much so.
There's a wheel that you spin every day for prizes, and today it gave me bones, which freaks me out a little bit. There's a vault that has a Wordle-like game where you earn money, like in-game money, for playing it, which is fun too. And, yeah, I think that's about all I can think of. There's other little, like, wholesome or funny nuggets to it, but I'd say just play it.
Can you just, because either yesterday or the day before, you were telling me about a particular challenge that was running that required you to manipulate a hedgehog.
Oh. Yeah, so I was talking about how, like, pets bring you certain items. So my pet hedgehog brings me cheese. And it's the only animal that can bring you cheese. And so, like, every hour I would check and sometimes it'd bring me no cheese, and sometimes it'd bring me like 2 cheese. But I'm like very patiently
Stanley?
waiting for my yeah, Stanley 2 cheese. And there's a quest I had that required 600 cheese. I'm like, there's no other way to get cheese than to wait for this hedgehog every hour. And finally, there was a community-wide quest where people had to hand in, like, I forget what it was, amethyst. They had to hand in amethyst, and once 750,000 amethysts were donated at the center of town,
Jesus.
everybody would be given 25 cheeses. And I'm like, oh my god, that's exactly the amount of cheese that I need to finish this quest. And it was successful. So I was very happy about that.
Wow. That is super wholesome. It's such a strange game in its many quirks and things that these different creatures provide you, but I'm glad that it's a fun time. Oh, I see you posted your profile, and you have the rainbow capybara as your icon.
Oh, you're a master
I'm so
farmer.
happy.
Master
Yeah.
farmer.
Yeah.
I like your public bio.
Yeah, I was just about to say.
Also, what's the name of your farm?
Dusty Ranch.
Very nice. I said
Very
to Anthony
nice.
that Dusty Ranch sounds like something that would be mentioned in the middle of a bad Outback Steakhouse review.
I'm surprised Kelsey hasn't gotten into this.
Yes,
She
it's something we're going to counseling over.
Oh no.
No, she was actually like, oh, until they implement the referral system, like, I'm gonna hold off on playing. So, they implemented it. Kelsey downloaded it yesterday.
Oh shit.
Probably
I haven't
hasn't
touched
opened
it
it
yet.
since.
No. It's been a
But
week.
that's okay.
It's been a week.
I imagine. I totally get that. But hey, I know it definitely looks good. I don't know if I'll check it out necessarily, but I like it. I definitely love like quirky, fun games like this, especially one that seems to be treating its community right.
Yep.
So yeah, very nice. Shout out to Farm RPG. This seems like a small game too, very small game. Like it only has like 700 followers on Twitter. Like, that's
They made a tweet that was maybe like a few months ago that I just saw a little bit ago. That was that they had 90,000 accounts made.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
I good. So I like that we're spotlighting them then.
Yep.
Perfect. All right. Well, there you go. That is Farm RPG. We are now gonna go to a different type of mobile game here. And granted, Farm RPG is also on PC, I believe.
Yeah,
But-
Anthony literally will like have both up. Like he'll
Yeah,
all of a
I
sudden
once-
he'll be like at his desk and on his phone. And I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, farm game. And I'm like, is it really warrant to like a double screen scenario? And he's like, maybe, I don't know.
My mind loop is like open farm game, if not open. And so like I'll be like, oh, I did it again.
We are gonna move forward to logic grid puzzles, if I wrote this down correctly.
Yeah.
And Kelsey, you have been really into this game.
Yeah. So I really like little puzzle type like crossword or Wordle, stuff like that. I actually haven't played Wordle in probably over a month. But I tend to like to play things like this, and I especially like them because I feel like on some level they're probably also flexing some mind muscles at the same time. But I named myself for the Coop Gifted Child Burnout because I was a gifted child. I was enrolled in a gifted program in my district, and was always like a high achiever and very into excelling, perfectionistic tendencies, etc. But I am a very tired adult now, and I am very much giving up on small things over time. So things like this make me feel like I return to my roots, because they're just like fun little puzzles. But we were driving the other day, Anthony and I, and something came up about, like, I think we were talking about what to do for the coop, because I was originally going to talk about Animal Crossing Pocket Camp, but I felt like my tone for speaking about it was going to be highlighting, like, a couple of, like, really nice things about it, but then overwhelmingly shitting on its pay-to-win gambling type aspect that I feel like is a big trap for people, especially something targeted towards children. So just throwing that nugget out into the atmosphere, but not dwelling on it. But then I picked, we were saying something, and I was like, oh, wait, did you ever play those games, like, as a kid, where it was, like, a grid and there was, like, data on the sides and the top, and you were given clues, and in given clues you were, like, told some specific information, but then also some, like, statements that you kind of had to think about in order to, like, figure out what information they were actually giving you, and then you would eliminate and solidify possibilities in the grid until you solved the grid. Like, it's a logic thought thing. And he was like, I have no idea what you're talking about. So I was like, all right, well, I remember being given them as a third grader, so I'm going to try to find them. And so when I looked it up, quite literally, they are just simply called logic grid puzzles. And so this particular app is one of the first apps that comes up when I searched the Apple application store. And it's the app is just called Logic Grid Puzzles, or I don't know if this is Logic Grid Puzzles or Logic Grid Problems, but it's from the developer Egghead Games, and apparently they are, like, just known for making this type of game, and they've deviated to, like, 2 other individual games that are more about, like, crossword and deductive word finding games, but for the most part...
just to say, on the app it says Logic Puzzles is the name. So
okay, sorry. Logic Puzzles, but it is explicitly a Logic Grid puzzle game.
Yeah.
But the company also has classic Logic Grid puzzles. Logic Puzzles is what you just said we're playing. Then there's, like, a Logic Grid puzzle one. Then there's educational Logic Puzzles. And then Logigrammies, which looks like the same fucking thing. I don't know why they're calling it different things, but... I'm sorry. Logigrammies looks like it's in Spanish, so I apologize. So I don't know why it's called that, but, so it's Egghead Games, and, like, I had just mentioned before we got on, I was like, oh, Chris, did you find, like, when it was developed, or when it was released? And I was like, oh, never mind, I found the copyright for 2021. It's been around forever. I can't find... The earliest indication of any of this that I can find is Twitter postings from 2014 from the company. Referring to these types of games. They also have one called Penny Dell Puzzles. I'm not sure if Penny Dell is just a synonymous name for this type of puzzle, but anyway, I cannot pinpoint exactly when this was released. It was sometime, the company itself lists itself as being originated between 2015 and 2018. But somewhere around that time. But I just discovered it, and I have gone hard on completing these. I've been having so much fun, and it is free to play. They become increasingly more difficult, where you get a lot more information, or the information you're given is something that you have to think about harder, or the puzzles themselves actually get much larger. So I've been seeing a few things here and there where they say that, like, you get free games up until a point, and then you can buy expansions. I've not hit expansions yet, and I've done over 30 of the puzzles within the last 2 days. So I don't know when that actually happens. And if that is this game from them that they're talking about, because, like I said, their catalog is small, but they all are kind of, like, overlapping each other. So I did see information somewhere about it being, like, free to play to a point, and then you can buy, but you can also go back and redo your puzzles too. So if you never really want to pay for anything, you can always just start over and keep going. But like I said, I've done over 30 or just at 30 games so far, and I've not been asked. There's no ads at all. There's no inherent, like, timer to completing everything. Hints are optional. You can go back and you can correct the mistakes, and you're not penalized. The only thing that I found was that depending on, they do track for you and make note in the game of, like, how many puzzles you've completed, the percent of puzzles at which you've completed without using hints, And then also if you've expert completed any of the games. And I had a look at, I was like, oh, expert. Does that mean I reached like expert level of the games? But no, expert is specifically the percentage of puzzles that you solve with no hints faster than 75% of puzzlers.
Wow.
So I have solved 32 puzzles, 91% no hints, and 12% of them I've done expert. But what is fun too is that they have something called a Zen Mode. And when you enable Zen Mode, it's at no cost. It's just another feature of the game and something that they more recently implemented in the fall of 2021. When you do Zen Mode, they take that block at the top that tells you you're solved, no hints, and expert percentages, and they completely remove it. You can get it back, but like they take it away. So I like that it feels like a very safe puzzle game in which you're not competing with others. You're just trying your best. There's no like, I don't feel like there's a lot of, what's the word I'm looking for? None of it feels like a competition.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can choose, like I saw, like the minute that I saw the expert thing, I was like, oh, I gotta be the best. I gotta expert everything. And I was like, no, you don't. Relax. Like that's not something you have to do. It's fun if you do it, but it's not like you can make the challenges for yourself if you want, but you don't have to. But overall, just I was really, really impressed with how much just straightforward content I received from downloading this game as a free game, and how the user interface is so friendly. It's very clean. It's uncomplicated. There's no like sneaky ads or sneaky paywalls or sneaky, subscribe to us, and then you close out of that one, and then 3 seconds later they go, oh no, subscribe, we'll give you half off for the first month, and then they like, right. they try to, there's none of that at all, and I was so impressed for the quality of the game that they are truly, at least up until what I'm experiencing, truly free to play, and that is just so rare and so hard to come by that I was just extremely impressed with this. I'm even going to download a few of the other ones that they offer just to see in screenshots so they don't look too different. They all look like they're kind of the same, but I'd be curious to know if like, even if the puzzle content is different across all the apps, that's going to make it fun because each new grid has new information and a new puzzle. So it's like, even if it doesn't visually look different, it's different every single time they give you new information. So I don't know. It's just kind of it's a little boring. It's like kind of nerdy, my choice this time around, but I've very much been enjoying it, and I feel like it's a different kind of challenge, and I was getting tired of Wordle.
Fair enough.
Kelsey?
Yeah.
These grid puzzles, you have opened a part of my brain
Yes!
that I have not thought about in forever.
Were you an Orion kid?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
I was. And I loved these puzzles as a kid, where they're like, oh, there's the houses, and, the red house is not next to the blue house, and all of that shit. Oh my God. I have already downloaded the game, and I'm already playing it.
Good. That's great. No. So that's exactly like, I don't know. It absolutely, I had like a brain blast in the car, and I was like, have you played these? And Anthony was like, no, I have no idea what you're talking about. And then I instantly downloaded it, and within 48 hours I'd completed 32 puzzles. And I intend to complete more before the night is done. So I am so glad to hear that I was able to bring that back for you, because it definitely was something that all of a sudden I was like, wait a minute, I remember these.
Yeah, I was asked by Kels to play test this for the Coop, just to see if it was something that would be interesting to talk about. I not that I wouldn't have cared either way, but I was happy to do it, and I very much fell in love with it because I haven't really played it a lot lately, but just a little bit of time that I had with it was a lot of fun, and really like it's just like, it's a fun like way of like looking at the clues and just trying to just think of how things kind of pair together, and there would be times where I'm like, oh, I cannot for the life of me, I feel like there is something that is missing, but if you read over the clues enough, you're just certain, like it just kind of starts to click, and you're like, oh shit, like it was there the whole time. Like, it was like it's a way to really get your mind working, and it is, yes, it's simple, but it is a lot of fun. It's just it is on the same vein of Wordle, of like, hey, like, here is something that you can do in excess, because it's not like daily with like the Wordle, but here's something that you could do that is just straightforward, that's fun to do, and you don't have to spend your whole day on it. You can, but it is just a fun little mind exercise to spend some good time with. I'm also very confused because on my phone it's referred to as logic puzzles, but then I just went back to the App Store and it is called Logic Grid Puzzles. So I don't know what it's called.
I think it's Logic Grid Puzzles, but if you're talking about when it's called on your phone, on like, as when you look at the icon like on your home screen, they probably just couldn't fit Logic Grid Puzzles in.
Fair enough.
So they just shortened it to Logic Puzzles, but they are formally referred to as Logic Grid Puzzles, so that there's websites and books you can get, and like this is a very classic logic mind game. This app just facilitates the ability to interact with it and play with it in the palm of your hand, but these are like tale as old as time type games. I'm actually a little sad that Matt is not here for this, because I feel like this is something up his alley too.
I can I just be real? I this whole time, after once Walsh's was starting to talk about Subway Surfers, I've been trying to figure out like when was the right time for me to be like, oh yeah, by the way, I'm so sorry that Matt's not here. This is the first goop that he's missing. I've been trying to think of when to fit that in, but it's never been a right time. Well, no, because usually after something like weird, like
he is
Slippery Princess,
wonderfully nesting in his new abode.
Yeah, he is also everyone's getting new places to live, so it's everything's very busy at the moment.
Yeah. So we miss him, and I'm sure that he would be nerding out with us on this one. But he's doing the good things that he needs to do.
Yeah, but that's
wild. That this is the first one that he's missing.
Yes, yeah,
that's wild.
I believe now I'm the only one who has done every coop, which makes sense because I'm in charge of this for show.
Yeah, that would be tragic if you couldn't be here for a coop. There'd be something really.
I have said though.
I know that means, guys, we have to throw a coop on the coop to do a coop without Chris. That's what we'll do.
That sounds scary. For me, as someone, I like my power. Don't take it away from me.
Viva la France!
No. But no. Shout out to Egghead Games and this guy. I'm reading the version history, and there's this guy, the guy that's developing this, I guess. That's like, email me at support@eggheadgames.com anytime, or use the help contact support option in the app. I'd love to hear from you and reply to every email. Happy puzzling. Cheers, Michael. So shout out to you, Michael. You made a fun puzzle game that we're all into.
Thanks, Michael.
Yeah, you're kicking butt. You're developing some good shit here.
Thank you.
But yeah, there you go. Well, I was gonna say, in regards to if I ever do a coop, if there's ever a coop without me, I now that you're officially underway doing the mini coops, I was gonna say to Matt that if he ever wants to do a Final Fantasy 14 mini coop and he wants to bring on Ace and Mickey or whoever, all the people that we know that are doing Final Fantasy 14, they are more than welcome to. I just don't know if I'll participate. So they can record it and they'll just send the files my way. I'll edit it. It'll be a coop. But yeah, so that's an option. And by the way, I should just mention mini coops. Keep your eye on it. All right, we're going on about games. We're giving full episodes to games. We've recorded the first one. We're going to record the second one at some point in the next few weeks. It's good time. It's a good time. All right. Well, that is Logic Grid Puzzles. We're going to move on to the last game. It is my game. It is a game known as Astro's Playroom. So last year I got my PlayStation 5. Thank you, Anthony.
Yes.
He didn't buy it for me, but he got it. We had to go. We had to wait on the or Anthony had to wait on the GameStop line essentially, and he grabbed 2, and I was able to pay him back for it. He was quick to the touch, quick to the trigger.
The real MVP.
The real MVP, yeah. So I got my PlayStation 5 last year, and we got it in January. So at that point, all the press of the launch was already happened. So I knew going into the PlayStation 5, I wanted to play 2 games. One was Bugsnax, and as you all know, it's history now. I love that game. One of my favorite games of all time. Another game that I was looking forward to playing was Astro's Playroom. It came with the PlayStation, so it was a packing game. And I think when it's all said and done, Astro's Playroom is going to be considered maybe I don't want to say it's like it's what Wii Sports was, because Wii Sports was a fucking moment when that happened, but like I think Astro's Playroom is right up there, and personally is my favorite pack-in console game all time, because even though it's so unabashedly a tech demo, it is a tech demo that has the depth and the love put into it that is just, you could just tell that the people over at Team Asobi just absolutely love what they do with making games. And so what Astro's Playroom is a 3D platformer that is the spiritual successor, maybe sequel, to Astrobot Rescue Mission, which was a PlayStation VR game on the PS4. And this one was not VR. This was a 4-world 3D platforming experience where the goal was just to make it to the end of each level, but along the way there was these various different secrets that you can find. There's entire sections of the levels where you turn into like a creature, and you use the DualSense in a very unique way in order to end up controlling the Astrobot through the world. Now, I think what I love so much about this game is its level design and the worlds. Specifically, you have Cooling Springs, GPU Jungle, SSD Speedway, Memory Meadow. Those are the 4 worlds. It's all obviously trying to spotlight the various different features of the PlayStation 5. But it's not the fact that they just called those things called those worlds that, because they literally designed entire immersive experiences around these features. Like Cooling Springs is this gorgeous beach level that evolves almost into an ice level later on. You have the GPU Jungle that is this, tropical, dense jungle experience that you can go through. SSC Speedway is this super sci-fi futuristic thing, and Memory Meadow is a lot more tame and calming. It kind of reminds you of like what a World 1 would be like in a video game. Like, it was very much that, with like a crazy rain section. But there's just so much love put into it, and I think especially for people who have loved PlayStation, I took a break for a few generations, but if you're a huge PlayStation fan, obviously you probably have played this game already, but if you haven't, it is must play for the fact that all the different collectibles that are there are all centered around the different I forgot what the word for it is, but like the different items that you can buy with the console to like play with. Like different accessories that are associated with each of these consoles. And also each of the worlds kind of are kind of centered around, in terms of the items that you collect, are kind of centered around a specific generation. So Memory Meadow is PlayStation 1. The SSD Speedway is PlayStation 2. Cooling Springs is PS3. And it's all all of this is to kind of end up building up to when you beat the level, which ends in like either like a boss fight or you're just you just make it over like a tough obstacle. When you reach the end of the level, you end up collecting these the full console. Not the actual console. Like like you'll get like it doesn't show up at your doorstep. It's just in the game. But that brings me to the other part of it, is that when you do collect all these things, all these different accessories, and then the consoles at the end of each of the levels, they all end up showing up in this place called the PlayStation Labo. And it's just this fun place where you have all these little Astrobots playing around, and you can you could interact with these accessories here and there, and they have references to old games and old logos, and they have the old like CRT, is that the right word? TV?
Yep.
Old, yeah, CRT TV. Like they have like all these different things set up. It's such a nostalgic trip for people who just love old school video games, and especially for those who love PlayStation. Throughout the game, the Astrobots there, a lot of them there are a ton of Astrobots throughout the level, not just of course you, but they're sometimes they're just dancing and hanging out, but others are actually like dressed up as a famous PlayStation character, and there's like just a shit ton of references throughout the entire game that are just really, really great. And one last thing before I just throw it to you guys for any reaction or add anything you guys want to add. The music of this game, I am frustrated with myself that I did not bring this to the table. I'm sure we might do another music coop at some point, but this game's music is top tier, one of the best soundtracks I've ever listened to, and specifically the GPU jungle theme, which I believe is just called "I'm Your GPU," is a all-time great song. Like it's just an all-time great video game song, and like you may not like enjoy it because it is like a robot voice that's singing the entire thing, but it's so goddamn funky. The moment the song kicks in, you're like, oh yes, I'm in the jungle. Like it's so fucking hype. Kenneth C.M. Young, you are a master of just immersing people into your games. It's great. It's such a good time. It welcomed me into the PlayStation 5 after taking a few generations off, and it was so delightful. It was my first ever platinum. It's a pretty easy platinum trophy to get, but I was also still proud of it, so fuck y'all. Yeah, just a great game. Just a wonderful game. Has anyone else had experience with this game?
I have, surprisingly. I've been to a friend's house where they had a PS5, and I got the chance to play this game. And for a free game that came with the software, it wasn't just, oh, these are the things you can do with the controller. It was, oh, this is actually really fun to play. And I think that was something that really grabbed my attention, and it's really a shame that there's not more attention on it. Mm-hmm. Because you could tell that a lot of care went into it.
Yeah, it is really wonderful, and I think, what's great is that the team Asobi was the people who developed this. They were part of Sony Japan for a while. Sony Japan, unfortunately, I think last year folded. Or at least Sony shut down that studio, but they preserved Team Asobi and made that its own studio, because of how great of a job that they did with this game, and of course Astro Bot Rescue Mission, which I a lot of people say is much better than this game, even though both games are great. People love Astro Bot Rescue Mission and almost put it on the same level of some 3D Marios, which is wild to me when I think about that, but it makes me want to get my VR and play it and experience it, because I love the platforming in this game. It just makes me really excited, because it's like I've always felt like, I know Nintendo has had like this corner on like the family game market for so long, but it's nice to see another console dip their toes into that and have 3D platformers that are a lot of fun, like this game, and of course, the other Astrobot game, but then of course Ratchet and Clank that came out last year. Like, it's fun that they still have these family games in the mix, and I cannot tell you how excited I am to see what Team Asobi does next, because if they can do an expanded version of this game, and hopefully not in VR, but I'll understand if it's VR, I will be so happy. It would be among my most anticipated games. This game is so damn good.
Yeah, and to add on to it, like, I was a PlayStation kid. Like, back then your parents bought you one console. PlayStation and Nintendo, make up your mind now. So seeing like all the character references to PlayStation IPs that haven't been active in decades, like Ape Escape, was so special. And like what are you talking about with all the peripherals that you would collect?
Mm-hmm.
Like, as a kid, I had a portable PlayStation 1. It was my vacation buddy. And like, you have never seen that mentioned anywhere else, and all of a sudden I unlock it while I'm playing this game. And it's like, you get to see it in 3D, and you get to play with all the buttons, and it's like, the disc tray pops open just like it really does. Mm-hmm. That is something that is so special to me. And really cool to see. It's like, PlayStation really like bringing together all the reasons why you bought a PS5, and the little like hangout areas at the end of each level are just like chef's kiss, like all the little friends partying around and celebrating. Like, I love little spots in video games where I'm like, yeah, I would hang out here. And it's like pretty much anywhere in Astrobot I was like, this would be great to hang out at.
Yeah, it's so wholesome. The whole game is so wholesome, and it's just it's a fun environment. You just want to hang out in it, like it's so nice. And then, like, they really, like you said, they really pull out the references. I think specifically the final boss, which I won't necessarily spoil. I had no idea about this because I wasn't born when this thing existed, but the final boss in this game is something that is truly insane and goes back all the way to when the PS1 was first being showed off. So I just highly recommend. I mean, I know PS5s are hard to find, and it's hard to get a hold of this game because of that. But if anyone gets into this, gets a PS5, this is such a must play. It's not just a throwaway platformer. It's not just something that they're, like Walsh said, it's not like they're just throwing something together to kind of just show you how things work. This is truly a work of love, and I think the best compliment I could give to a game like this. And with that, we're done. Yay! Next month. Ooh, what should we do for next month?
It's April.
Yeah. I mean, I don't, it doesn't necessarily have to be associated with the month.
No, I know. I just was throwing it out there.
I don't know what we should do.
Favorite games about Jesus Christ.
Okay.
Our Lord and Savior.
Oh, no, wait, wait, when is Easter?
Yeah, it's in April this year.
Yeah, it's April.
It can vary, but it's in April this year.
I want to try
that bamboozled us.
That bamboo. Why? Because Jesus or bamboozled us?
Yeah.
No, because they're April Fools.
Oh shit.
Oh, I thought you were making a reference to like, I'm dead. No, I'm not.
Bamboozled those Romans.
That's a good idea. I'm trying. I definitely want to think of
April Fools.
Yeah.
Jesus April Fools, the original.
I definitely want to do Oh, all right. Here we go. I got a good one for you guys. Let's do the funniest game that you've played.
Cool.
Does that sound good to everyone? Do you feel like it's too hard to figure out?
The funniest game.
Can I do Portal 2?
Yes. Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, Kelsey's playing through Portal 2, everyone. So that's gonna be a fun new perspective to bring to the table. So yeah, absolutely. So there you go. Well, that's what we'll do for April for now. Thank you all again so much for listening. As I've noted, we're doing along with these monthly episodes, we are also doing the mini coops now. So we will be so you might see maybe more than one Gaming Coop a month. So just keep your eyes on your podcasting feeds for that. And of course, just check out all the other stuff that we are doing at Team Chaos Productions. It's been a busy time for everyone, but I assure you, we'll be back strong soon. All right. But anyways, thank you all so much for listening. Game on. The Gaming Coop is brought to you by Team Chaos Productions. Follow us on Twitter at The Gaming Coop, or follow our other work at Team Chaos Pods.